A few facts about me. I am 27 years old. I have 3 degrees, including 2 masters. I have set up a foundation that helps underprivileged kids. I have written an amazing book that is performing very well. I have an amazing job and I'm financially stable. I would say for someone my age, I tick so many boxes. But despite all this, my friends, my family, my church are all concerned with when am I getting married. It's, oh, you have done so well, but you should get married now. Oh, and I'm not the only one. I know so many people can relate to that constant pressure. When are you getting married? When are you having kids? When are you doing this? And in this video, I want to tell you about 4 ways that you can use, that you can employ to manage the pressure to get married. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella. I'm an author, I'm a consultant, and I'm a speaker. I wrote an amazing book, From Gokwe to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream. It's available on Amazon. Please do get a copy. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. If this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, thank you for the continued support. Let's get the conversation going. So in this video, I want to talk about something that I am so passionate about. It's something that I know so many people that struggle with it. I know my friends, and even personally, I have struggled with it. The pressure to get married. You have graduated. When are you getting married? You have finished the first masters. When are you going to get married? If you get a PhD, you're going to be so successful. You're going to threaten all the men away. When are you getting married? You have done this. You've done this. When are you getting married? How many times have you been asked that question? Personally, if I had $1 each time, I would be a millionaire by now. And in this video, I'm going to tell you 4 ways to do with it. The first one is set boundaries. Set boundaries. Not everyone deserves the right to ask you the question. That is the starting point. If it's my friend, if it's a close friend, if it's a family member, if it's my mom, if it's my dad, I can understand that they are asking me from a place of concern. They really want to know what's going on with me, so I can give them the latitude and the room to be all personal with me. But if it's not, and if it's anyone else, I'm not going to be as forthcoming. So the first one is set boundaries. Make it clear to people that they don't have the right to ask you that. The people who know what's going on in your life know. And if they don't know who you are dating, or if you're not dating anyone, or if they don't know your plans, maybe it's because they don't have the right to know them in the first place. So don't allow anyone to guilt you or embarrass you into feeling bad about yourself. There is nothing wrong with making a decision to not get married at a particular age. And if you allow everyone to ask you and question you, you will second guess yourself. You will start feeling bad. You start feeling like there is something wrong with you. You start feeling like you're not enough. You start feeling some type of way. That is not good for you. So set boundaries. Who gets to ask you that? What's the setting? And if you're not comfortable, even if it's a close friend who has asked you and you're not comfortable talking about it, set the boundary. Tell them, I'm not comfortable talking about this. And we struggle so much, so many times in our lives because we don't know, we don't have boundaries, and everyone can walk up to us and ask us questions. They have no right to be asking us. So you have it, set boundaries. Not everyone deserves to know. And the fact that they don't know they're even asking you, it means that it's none of their business. And don't be afraid to tell people, you know what? That's a little bit personal. Please, I'm not comfortable having this conversation. Oh, you know what? I don't think we are close enough for us to actually have this conversation. Oh, I'm just focusing on myself. That's not a conversation that I want to have. Be okay. Don't feel bad for your decisions. Own them and set boundaries. The second one is don't be overly defensive. And this applies not only to the topic of when are you getting married or whatever. It's oftentimes, if we're defensive, we sort of confirm the stereotypes or the things that the people that are accusing us of are thinking. So if a person approaches you and you're overly defensive and you automatically get into the over hyper feminist mode, I don't need a man, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, it's instead of you proving a point or communicating your expectations and your plans, you are actually confirming what they think. So don't be overly defensive. Be very calm, be very chilled, but politely state your plans, politely communicate what you want. I feel like the reason why people end up assuming that people are miserable when they're single, or people are this is because of the way we approach the subject. If we were asked, so even if a person asks you in a very intruding way, I've had people walk up at me at church, people that I've never talked to a day in my life, and be like, "Oh, Sister Patty, you've done so well. God has been so faithful. So when is the wedding?" And in that moment, I just want to flip out. I just want to. And what flipping out, what getting overly emotional does, it just reinforces their thoughts that you are unhappy in your singleness. So instead of being overly defensive and reacting emotionally, you calm down, you take a deep breath, you put a smile on your face, and you say, "You know what? That is none of your business. God bless you." Okay, you may not say it like that, but then you actually just calmly, politely, with a smile, you just push back and you communicate your boundaries. And this is very helpful in a lot of ways. Over defensiveness and being overly emotional only serves to undermine our voice, and it only serves to reinforce the thoughts that the people attacking us or confronting us hold against us. So it might actually do you some good to not be over defensive. Just be polite, be calm, and state your plans, your thoughts, or whatever you are willing to share. It's all up to you. And the third way of handling the pressure is engage in conversations. Don't shy away from the subject. Don't close people off. If there is a PS to this, if the person that is asking you is rational, and if they're a level-headed person who genuinely cares, okay, I want you to pay attention to this. If they genuinely cares, there are people who ask you things because they are curious, and there are people who ask you things because they care. So you need to understand this person is asking about my life, they are asking about my relationship. Why are they asking? Do they care, or are they curious? If they are curious, then you can respectfully tell them to back off. But if they actually care for you, engage in conversations, understand where they are coming from, what's their concern. Because half the time when people are concerned with why you're not getting married, maybe they are worried about the biological clock, or maybe they're worried that, I don't know, whatever. People have so many concerns. And what has actually helped me is to actually sit down with people and hear them out and actually have conversations. What's your fear? I'm 27 years old. What are you scared of? Do you think I'm not going to meet anyone? Do you think I'm not going to be able to have kids? What are your reservations? And when you actually give people a chance to tell you what they think, you actually realize that they're coming from a place of being misinformed. They're actually holding on to misconceptions. They're actually holding on to things that are not right, but because they care about you, they're just throwing those misconceptions and judgments on you. So if you actually have conversations and you tell them, "You know what, don't worry about me. If you think that I'm going to have problems having kids, don't worry about that. A woman is very well fatal and able to have kids until her 30s. Or alternatively, I can freeze my eggs. Or alternatively, I can adopt. There are so many ways of me having kids in the future, if that's what you're concerned about. If you think that I can't, if you're scared that I won't be able to meet someone, don't worry about it. People meet people at every stage and at every age. I have seen people who are 70 years old fall in love. I've seen people who are 80 meet the right person and fall in love. So there is a person for me out there. Don't worry." So when you engage in conversations, you hear that, you realize that people actually have these concerns, that they actually care, and they're coming from a place of actually caring for you. So it's one way of doing it. This only applies to rational people. If they're not rational, they're not even going to listen to you anyway. Just tell them to back off. And the last one is the fourth way of resisting and handling the pressure to get married is show results of undeniable personal growth. Okay? Personally, the reason why I delayed, or the reason why I took my time, is I had goals, I had plans, I had somewhere that I wanted to be, and I also wanted to develop the mindset to be able to make such permanent decisions. Science actually shows that the pre-25 brain is very impressionable, very emotional, and it's most of the decisions that we make when we're pre-25 are very emotional, and we almost always regret or undo them in the future. So for me personally, I wanted to take time to grow, to know myself enough to actually know the next person. I wanted to become this person. We have so many successful doctors who are terrible in marriage because they trained for their professions. We are so good at our jobs because we trained at them, but no one trains to get married. So I wanted to sort of embark on this mini training sort of where I work on my mindset, my emotions, my personhood, and fix those things that will actually make me a better spouse to someone in the future. So I devoted my years to growth. And when you come up to me and you ask me, why are you not married? I will sit back and give you results of undeniable growth. I've been doing this, and that is the reason why I was taking my time. They are forcing us to get married. They expect us to get married and do all those things, but the divorce rates are at the highest at this point in time. They are at the highest. There are so many single parented households. Marriages are breaking down because we are just coercing people into doing them without understanding the implications, the thoughts, and the expectations of that union. So if you are able to do those 4 things, set boundaries, don't become overly defensive, have engage in conversations, and systematically disprove the misconceptions, and 4, show deniable signs of growth. If you do this, you'll be able to handle any pressure from anyone, and you can take your time to get married if that's what you want. Or if your calling is singleness like Paul, then you can bask and shine in your singleness, handling pressure and managing expectations. It's been lovely, guys, having this conversation with you. Please subscribe, please comment. Till next time, I have to sign out. Bye.